Hey guys, welcome to Ready Up. My name is Joshua Davis, aka Papa Grancherino III Esquire.
It's quite the title.
It is, thank you. And today I'm joined by Jessica Boettiger.
Hello.
She is our QA Embed for Competitive. Big part of our team here at ArenaNet on the competitive team. So today we're going to be talking about the upcoming World versus World tournament and the changes that are going in for that compared to the previous tournaments.
Yep.
And we'll also be previewing the Guardian and Necromancer changes, and then providing some updates on some Mesmer changes.
Sorry.
No, it's good. It's like an ad lib. No, it's good. It's good. I was like internoun.
Yep.
Thank you. So I guess to get going, real quick congratulations to the winners of the Tournament of Legends 2 that happened on last weekend.
August 23rd and 24th.
Yeah,
it was my birthday. So
okay, happy birthday.
It was in the past, but thank you. So it's belated.
Yeah, I feel really bad now, actually.
Yeah, well.
I didn't get you anything.
It's okay.
I'm sure you knew already.
I got to watch the finals. That was your gift.
Happy birthday to you.
Yeah, thanks.
So anyways, for NA, happy birthday, or congratulations
Well
to Outplayed by Children for taking first, and Apex Pride for taking second.
Yep.
For the European players, congrats to Cheese Mode for taking first, and Exaltation for taking second.
Indeed. Congratulations.
So ends that segment.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yep. World versus World. So.
Tell us all about it.
So we're introducing some pretty big changes in the next World versus World tournament. The majority of these changes are heavily based on player feedback. That's how we like to do things. I'm going to go over a couple of those changes and explain, what our goal was in those decisions. And as you guys know, this isn't the final iteration of the World versus World tournaments. We continue to experiment and explore.
Change pretty much every single time, right?
Yeah, it has. We haven't quite hit what we want it to be, so we continue to, iterate on it and learn.
Running a tournament with hundreds and thousands.
Learn what worked, what didn't work. And continue to focus heavily on media outlets like our forums and Reddit to kind of gauge how other players feel
Just
about
give a Reddit shout out?
Was I not supposed to?
No, it's cool. It's totally cool. Reddit shout out.
They sent us cupcakes.
They did. That's really nice. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to Guild Wars.
Oh yeah, that was a thing that happened yesterday. So
yeah, that was the thing.
Birthdays all around. So one of the major changes with World versus World tournament is the duration. So last time around, we encountered some issues that we had to work around, so we extended the tournament to 9 weeks. That turned out to be way too long. There were a lot of stale matchups. People kind of got bored with it.
It's also a lot of time commitment, right? Like, there's a lot of people out there who...
waiting 9 weeks to get your rewards, that kind of thing.
Well, even people who, take it very seriously, right? Like, logging in every day, going 100%. It can get a little exhausting.
Indeed. So something we're experimenting with this time around is a 4-week tournament. So in this format, servers shouldn't be matched up with each other more than once. And another really big change that we think is going to totally reshape how people play this tournament is the reward structure. So in the past you had to, wait for the entire duration of the tournament for the conclusion to get your rewards. This time around, the rewards are... Well, the incentive is more on the matchups rather than the overall tournament. Right. There will still be an overall tournament placement reward, but we really want people to focus on getting into every matchup and doing the best they can in each of those matchups. While it's interesting to see the strategies of tanking in one matchup and then dominating another, we really hope that players will take every single round seriously and do their best. And then so at the end of each matchup, you will get tournament ticket rewards. It's really important to note that those need to be claimed by the next matchup. So week 1, say you come in first. In week 2, you need to talk to the battle historian to claim those tickets. You don't have to spend them right away. You just need to claim them.
Where can you find the battle historian?
Battle historian is in every World versus World map and also in the Edge of the Mists.
So you can always get to it.
Yeah, you can always get to him. And he's got, you may remember the weapon sets that we had last time. Those are still available.
Mistforged.
Yes. Mistforged are the awesome ones, and then there's the also awesome, but not quite as awesome.
You want the Mistforged?
Yeah, you do. Okay. You do want those. So those are all still available, so you can earn more of those skins. But just be sure to claim your tickets in time, because that's
you mentioned tournament end rewards.
Yeah, so something we're experimenting this time around, you will see a really epic Doliac statue appear in all the citadels on September 9th with our Feature Pack 2. The tournament starts on September 12th, the following Friday after reset. So this statue will, at the end of the tournament, give players a buff, Doliac's Blessing, for, it's a world experience, and I think experience bonus for short duration. First place gets 5 hours, and it scales down to 1 hour for last place. And another important thing to note is this is the first time we'll be running a World versus World tournament in China. So because of the different, we had to do a different league structure. So you'll notice that there are up to 12 places this tournament. Mm-hmm. League structure for NAEU remains the same, but it's slightly different in China. So I saw some players had questions about that on the forum, so I wanted to clarify that is why we're not yet changing the league structure, but that is something that we've been talking about and considering. I know a lot of players think that it would be beneficial to change that up, so that's something we'll definitely want to take a look at after this tournament and possibly iterate on for the next tournament. So
sounds good.
Pretty cool changes. Like I said, it's still a work in progress. We feel like we're getting a little bit closer to what we want tournaments to be, and obviously our goal is to have them be an enjoyable short-term thing that runs in World versus World. There's still a lot of challenges for us to overcome in World versus World, and tournaments are by no means a way to address those issues. Those are things we're still working on outside of the tournament, but we feel like it's a fun thing to bring to kind of spice things up occasionally. And in the future, we talk a lot about how we can add more flavor to that. So
speaking of spicing things up, Siege Disabler?
Yeah, so corresponding with this tournament in Feature Pack 2, which you may have seen announcements for.
On guildwars2.com.
Siege Disabler trick. We're very excited about this. I am personally very excited about this because I think it's going to empower defenders a lot. Being able to disable flame rams for 45 seconds while you call reinforcements, I think that's really awesome. I know I'm going to be using it. Also, I like to roam a lot in World versus World. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's more fun than just getting with the big group and taking something.
Right.
And if you're a roamer, you don't necessarily want to save your supply to build a bunch of rams. So just like our existing traps, it costs 10 supply to deploy one of these tricks. And I think it's going to be really awesome to run up behind a group that maybe is sieging your objective and just totally destroy their plans. So I'm excited for it. I think it's going to change a lot of tactics in World versus World. Obviously, it'll be good for assaulting as well because it will disable static siege like cannons and oil pots and things like that. But I personally am most excited about having a little bit, more of an advantage as a defender when there's a huge group breaking down my gates and I just need to buy a little bit of time to get my commander and people to come help. So excited to bring that in.
So you had a note about how tournaments have gone through multiple iterations, right?
Yes.
And how this one is a result of a lot of feedback that we got from the last tournament. We wanted to try to resolve a lot of issues like the 2v1 situation, right? In Tier 1. Yep. We've resolved that by adding match-based rewards, right?
Right, encouraging you want to do the best in each.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it was about 2 months ago, I said we were on a CDI for the past tournament. So that's still a thing we want to do. We ended up postponing the last one because it's right when we had the issue with reward distribution, and we didn't want the CDI to be filled with.
Heavily focused on that, and we were
which was totally justified.
It is.
So we want to run another CDI at some point on this tournament in particular.
Yeah.
So it's not that we forgot or that we don't ever want to do it. It's just we are now wanting to focus it on this one.
Timing was wrong.
But I think this tournament structure in general is superior to the former. So
I strongly agree. I hope players will see the improvements here and understand that this isn't the one. This isn't where we're gonna settle on and bring back for the future tournaments. I think we still have a lot of places to improve on, but I'm looking forward to seeing how this tournament plays out and kind of recognizing what worked well, what changes we made from last tournament were decent changes, and what we can change for the next tournament. I think tournaments are really valuable in that they encourage new players to check out World vs. World. They kind of spice things up a little bit for existing players, but it's not the final iteration. So players should understand that. Keep giving us your feedback because we're making this for you. We want it to be fun for you. One more thing about the changes. Achievements. So in the past you may have noticed that sometimes you have to grind achievements. You don't have to do that this time. The bar is really, really low.
Suspenseful.
So I wanted to build it up a bit. We want to experiment with having achievements play a much smaller part in the tournament. Because again, as I said, the focus should be on each match. You should be doing your best to, take all the lands for you. So we didn't want to discourage normal World vs. World gameplay by saying, hey, you need to capture 250 supply camps and kill 1 million yaks. So
thank you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a small change, but I think it's a welcome one. We've seen a lot of players have mixed feelings about the achievements. Obviously we want more people to play World vs. World, but we want them to play World vs. World. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
I do.
Okay.
I know what you mean.
So, we think if there's less focus on grinding out those achievements, we'll see people more focused on playing and not, saving a supply camp before they capture it because they need to kill 100 more yaks, which is the thing I did.
Out of curiosity, where will you be playing the next season?
Me? Yeah.
Yeah.
I will be playing on Northern Shiver Peaks. That's my home server. But I definitely want to hop around more. The way that these tournaments play out on different tiers is totally different. And in the past, I've only kind of heard about it. I haven't seen it firsthand. Mm-hmm. So that's the thing we've been talking about, wanting to kind of get out of our comfort zone and leave our home shards to go check out how it plays out on different leagues, different tiers. Also want to hop into European servers. The time difference makes it difficult for us a lot of times.
At least not during work hours.
Right. It would be very awesome if during work hours I could hop in and play.
Like just all day. That'd be sweet.
Yeah. I'll look into that.
For the record, I was on Blackgate.
Well, it'll be interesting. I'm excited to hop around and maybe I can even get taken in by some other guilds to get their first town feedback. That would be cool.
Yeah. I played with a lot of guilds that I had just kind of found in passing, or even from map chat. Like, oh, you're recruiting? Cool. Let me jump in and play with them for a night. It was kind of fun.
Yeah.
So you said you play. Well, do you have any other final notes on World Tournament? Why is this hard to say? The World versus World Tournament.
It's actually 3 worlds, but
yeah, we're only gonna do 2. Do you have any final notes on that before we move on?
Just that we hope that you guys enjoy some of the improvements we made, and we look forward to hearing additional feedback for things we can improve for the next tournament. And as Josh said, the CDI is not happening. It just is not happening yet. Hopefully it will be soon.
Yes, for this tournament.
Yeah, right, because obviously we can't make changes to this tournament right now, but
Sure.
we could have one for the next tournament for sure.
Yeah. All right, so you said you play Mesmer, eh?
I do, and now this is a good segue for you.
Yeah, right? I latched onto that for like 5 minutes. So there's a lot of feedback on the forums about adding Torment to Mesmer auto attack. Really,
Scepter, right? Scepter 1?
yeah, thank you. Scepter 1 auto attack for Mesmer, and how that would work in with the PU Mesmer, and is this going to overload it? Is this going to be amazing? So me and Karl have spent a lot of time playtesting those changes, just kind of feeling them out. And there was a couple of changes to Mesmer that were that have changed as a result of a lot of you guys' feedback. So I just want to go through those really quick here. So just real brief, and then we'll jump into the Guardian Necromancer changes. So just,
Skill bar?
yeah, I don't have a video for these changes, so I'm just going to read them out to you guys. So I think the first big one is there's 3 traits that are called like the clone death traits, right? So anytime you summon a clone, when you already have 3 out, it will just kill your the oldest clone that you had summoned, right? Yep. It'll just despawn it, and it will proc whatever on-death traits you have. So the main 3 on-death traits are, I'm just going to cheat. I was going to try to name them without looking, but I'm just going to look.
Are you talking about shatter skills?
No, crippling dissipation,
Oh,
debilitating dissipation, and then confusing combatants. So the way that these have changed, all 3 of these traits, the effects of these traits can now be blocked, dodged, or blinded. So previously it would just apply the effects of those skills no matter what, even if you were invuln or dodging or whatever. Mm-hmm. So now these have a little bit more counterplay now. You can dodge them, you can blind them, and you can, block them. Did I say block already?
I think you
block,
have.
Dodge, blind.
If not,
those things. So that's the first. That's the first part of the changes. For debilitating dissipation, I'm going to actually read the text for this so I don't get it wrong. The bleeding from this trait has been reduced from 3 stacks for 5 seconds, which is how it was before, to now it's 2 stacks for 4 seconds. So there's a little bit of a shave there. Yeah. Yes, a little bit of a shave there, as we like to say. So this should hopefully start to address some of the concerns with PU Mesmer and how it plays. The last portion is actually with Prismatic Understanding itself. I'm going to read the text here verbatim so I don't get it wrong as well. So this trait is now able to apply Swiftness for 3 seconds and Might for 5 seconds in addition to the previous boons. So originally there was like a 33% chance for you to pull any one of the boons that were available. Right. So that was Prot, Regen, and Aegis.
Yes.
So now it has a larger pool, so the chance of having each one of those boons stack up multiple times is far reduced. So I just wanted to throw that out to you guys, just so you can kind of take that into account when you guys are discussing PU Mesmer. I will say I've playtested the crap out of PU Mesmer the past couple days.
I've seen it.
Yes, lots of dueling going on, lots of fighting, lots of playing around. I would say that if you do nothing but auto attack with Scepter 1, you maintain around 5 to 6 stacks with just like a normal PU build. So it's not the end of the world. I think if you're spamming nothing but the 1 skill in Scepter, you're probably playing it wrong.
Doing it wrong, yeah.
But it's not like the end of the world. This is going to blow out the spec kind of thing. And I think the other changes that we've done, in addition to that, will probably help balance it out quite a bit as well.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a global change since those affect all the traits. A bit more counterplay, which is something that we've been slowly working on adding. So I'm pretty excited for that.
As a Mesmer player, when I first heard about this meeting, I was...
You gave me a face.
I gave a lot of people faces. But I can appreciate these changes. I think they'll be good for the game. And, they're minor shaves like we do. So it's not going to be devastating. It'll just kind of bring things in line a bit.
Indeed. All right, so I know we have our Guardian Necromancers are waiting for the changes. So I believe Ruby has got the video queued up for us, and she's going to play us off the skill bar.
Hello and welcome back to the skill bar. My name's Karl McLain. We're going to wrap up this feature pack with the Guardian and the Necromancer. Let's begin today with the Guardian and their traits. Elite Focus. In addition to its current functionality, this trait will now grant stability while using tome skills. Each tome will gain stability when it gains its associated boon, either protection or retaliation. Glacial Heart. We wanted this trait to be usable more frequently in combat, so the recharge has been reduced 15 seconds. The chill duration has been reduced from 4 seconds to 3 seconds. Eternal Spirit. This trait has been reworked and renamed to Expeditious Spirit, which will now reduce the cooldown of activated abilities for your spirit weapons. Why am I saying this? Because spirit weapons have had their functionality reworked slightly. With this upcoming feature pack, you will no longer lose your spirit weapon when you activate their command ability. Instead, they will naturally be able to use their abilities more than once before dying. Let's talk about some of the upcoming changes to command skills for the Guardian spirit weapons. Hammer of Wisdom now has a blast finisher when activated. Sword of Justice applies 5 stacks of vulnerability to all enemies struck. Shield of the Avenger will now bounce to allied targets and apply Aegis to them. Bow of Truth. This ability has become ground targeted and can now be cast at up to 1200 range. Merciful Intervention. This ability is now a 180 radius ground targeted skill that will shadow step the Guardian to an ally in the targeted area, healing allies around the Guardian. Note that if there are no allies in the targeted area, you will not shadow step. Renewed Focus. This elite skill is now categorized as a meditation and will function with Meditation Mastery, Focus Mind, and Monk's Focus. In addition to the added effects of Elite Focus, tomes have had some of their skills slightly updated. For Tome of Wrath, Conflagrate has had its damage increased by 10%. Judgment has had its cast time reduced by 1.5 seconds. When paired with Judge's Fervor, this ability activates really quickly. For the Tome of Courage, Purifying Ribbon has had the number of conditions that it removes increase from 1 to 2 on each hit. And that's all for the Guardian. Let's move on to the Necromancer. First off, let's talk about the Necromancer's traits. Last Gasp, in the Soul Reaping line, is now categorized as a spectral skill and will be reduced and buffed by spectral traits. Additionally, the recharge has been reduced from 60 seconds to 50 seconds. Next up is Unholy Sanctuary in the Necromancer's Death Magic line. In addition to healing, this trait will now activate Death Shroud if you have enough life force when you would take a lethal blow, meaning that an attack that would kill you or a condition that would kill you will now activate your Death Shroud for you. A couple of things to note is that the trait has a 30-second internal cooldown, and if the trait triggers, even if your Death Shroud is on cooldown, it will circumvent that cooldown. Death Shroud itself has received some changes. Necromancers will now be able to interact with things while in Death Shroud, meaning you can resurrect allies or finish downed enemies. Corrupt Boon. The cast time of this ability has been increased by about a quarter second, bringing the skill up to about a total of 1/2 second cast time. This change also reduces the aftercast of Corrupt Boon by about a quarter second. Signet of Vampirism. The active time of this ability has been increased from 5 seconds to 6 seconds. Spectral Armor. As with the Last Gasp trait, the recharge of this ability has been reduced from 60 seconds to 50 seconds. Rending Claws. The aftercast of this ability has been reduced by about a quarter second, meaning that you can activate new abilities or repeat Rending Claws much quicker than you could before. Ghastly Claws. The damage of this ability has been increased by 10%. Necrotic Slash, Stab, and Bite have all had their number of targets increased from 1 to 2, meaning you'll have a slight cleaving effect on your dagger attack abilities. As with the Thief, the positive effects from these abilities can only occur once per swing. Locust Swarm. The duration of swiftness on this ability has been increased from 10 seconds to 15 seconds. And last but not least, let's talk about Lich Form. The overall duration of this transform was a little bit long, so we've reduced it from 30 seconds to 20 seconds. As with other transforms throughout all the professions, we've reduced its power scale down to the player's normal power scale. To compensate for this, we have increased the damage multipliers of each of the Lich's abilities to be about what they were before this change. This change ensures that your Lich form damage remains as high as it was before, but that Sigil of Fire and Air and other outside activations don't deal exponential damage. That's all we got for you today. Check out all this and more for yourself on September 9th with the upcoming feature pack. We hope you've enjoyed the skill bar. Please join us again in the future. Bye.
All right, guys. We hope you enjoyed the final installment of the skill bar. Thanks to Karl and Mark for putting those together. We really like the way that the changes are displayed that way. I think it's a lot better than when we get Chap and Peters and up here
Talk
with
about
myself.
all of them at once.
Yeah, and it's kind of confusing and
Yeah, it's easier to digest when it's broken apart.
yeah. So anyways, really enjoyed working on the balance patch with these guys. Like, it's been really fun. I think a lot of the changes are really good. A lot more build diversity. A lot of things that have been deemed unviable are now going to be viable.
Spirit weapons.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny watching chat as we go through the changes. It's like, oh, this is the greatest thing. Oh no.
Yeah.
So
Roller coaster of emotions.
yeah. And it's hard to, I think, watch this and then compare all those changes to what we've seen in previous skill bars, but I think once the feature pack comes out on 9.9, you guys will be really excited for what we've put in. So thanks to you guys for all the feedback and whatnot.
Will they be able to watch these skill bars again?
Wow.
Somewhere?
Thank you for remembering, because I totally forgot.
I know.
Yeah, we'll be compiling all the skill bars and releasing that on YouTube as a standalone thing next week. I think on Tuesday?
Tuesday is the date I heard.
Yes, Tuesday-ish. So if you guys want to take a look at the skill bars one more time without having to dig through all ready up and whatnot, you can find it there. Anyways, that's really all we got for you guys today. We have a little bit of a fan clip, which is pretty cool. If you saw it, you might have seen it on Reddit or on the forums or a number of other places, but quite cool.
It's very awesome.
Quite cool.
Yep.
What is it?
It's a graphic novel style adaptation of World versus World battles.
Cool. All right.
And it's going to play us out.
Yes, it will. Yes, so thanks for following the channel, guys. If you haven't done so, please do so now. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, blah, 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 and we'll see you in-game.
That's probably true.
And that's when Ruby pushes the button, we go away. Bye!
Bye!